Hello, my name is Julie Tan, and this is my economic analysis presentation on the organic farming industry. Our first section of this presentation is about the background of the industry. This includes the history of how organic farming became popularized and what organic farming is. A quick brief on the history of farming. The first agricultural revolution took place in 10,000 BCE, and this is when individuals who were previously nomads discovered domestication of crops. This led to the settlement of people and became the first cities ever established. The second agricultural revolution took place between the years 1600s and 1700s, and coincides with the first industrial revolution. This is the first time when farming machinery was created and reduced the amount of manual labor needed to harvest crops. However, because the population was growing exponentially, farmers were harvesting the foods at high rates, which often left the soil stripped of its nutrients. Many became concerned over the environment, and so people created the term sustainable agriculture, which began the shift towards green agriculture. And here in the corner, this is a picture of the second agricultural revolution. As we can see, machinery was created and there's a lot less people working on the farms than there were previously. Definition for organic products is anything grown or raised without the use of chemicals. To regulate the standards, the government created an agency known as the United States Department of Agriculture, and this agency set boundaries for what can be labeled as organic and while also making exceptions for farmers that make less than $5,000 yearly. These are the 4 established ways that a company can label their products as organic. First, we have 100% organic, and this is most raw, unprocessed, or minimally processed farm crops. We have organic, which is up to 5% may be non-organic agricultural products. Made with organic is something that contains 70% organically processed ingredients, and anything less than 70% organic content can have specific organic ingredient listings. I chose this topic because last year during human geography, I learned a lot about the difference between commercial versus subsistence agriculture, which led me to be interested in the organic agricultural industry, and that's also why I wanted to explore more into the economic analysis of it. Our next major topic is the major firms in the industry. I have picked 3 firms that cover different products, and I'll discuss what they specialize in and how they go about it. Up first is the company Organic Valley, which specializes in dairy production. They do not like how other dairy companies prioritize the yield of products over the health of animals, so they decided to create their own company. They prioritize giving their cows ample space to roam and giving them a natural diet that consists of different types of grass. The second company is Driscoll, which is known for its berries. And while Driscoll does have non-organic options that are typically cheaper, it also has a sector dedicated to organic fruits. Driscoll does this by supporting small farms that abide by the USDA regulations. Our third firm, Perdue Farms, is a farm that produces organic meat. It prides itself on its organic meat that is produced with a USDA-approved diet and without the use of antibiotics or hormones. In my third section, I will be going over the different economic analysis of the organic farming industry. This includes supply and demand, elasticity, type of industry, profit maximization, and more. In recent years, the demand for organic products has been increasing as a result from consumers wanting to purchase produce that contains less chemicals and is more environmentally sustainable. However, the suppliers of organic products cannot keep up with the high demand, which is causing the price of organic products to rise. If we draw the demand curve, we can see how this factors out. So here's the demand, and here is supply. And this is our cost of the product, and this is the quantity. And if our demand has now increased, as you can see, people are demanding a higher quantity. However, the price is going up because the supply has not changed and is limited. Organic products are elastic, meaning that consumers are more sensitive to the prices. This is because the commercial produce is a substitute since it's able to be produced at cheaper costs and is thus less expensive. This takes away from the fact that food is a necessary need as people still have the option to buy commercially produced food. Of production are machinery and government assistance. Machinery allows a farmer to work more efficiently and increase their yield as they do not have to hire manual labor, which often takes more time. The USDA also provides subsidies for farmers to produce organic goods as they want to support these small farms in hopes of increasing the amount of organic foods available in the market. Explicit costs are things that a company can directly count. For example, the cost of seeds, labor, equipment, machinery, or packaging. Meanwhile, implicit cost is something that cannot directly be accounted for, but does have an effect on the efficiency of the business. One example of this is the time it takes for plants to grow. We cannot directly account for how long it takes for a plant to grow. However, the time it takes for them to fully grow and harvest does affect the efficiency that the organic business can work at. The types of industry. The organic farming industry is a purely competitive industry because of these four characteristics. It has low barriers for entry and exit, identical products, perfect consumer knowledge, and a large consumer and seller base. All four of these characteristics are present in the organic farming industry, which is why it is a purely competitive industry. In the organic farming industry, profit maximization occurs when marginal cost, the cost of producing one additional unit, equals the marginal revenue, or the market price. If the market price decreases but the demand for the industry continues to increase, the company may experience a loss in profits, however, they shouldn't shut down. A business should shut down when the average variable cost is above the price of the product, and this is because the average variable cost is the average cost for the production of one product. Therefore, if the market price is below the average variable cost, that means the company is spending more money to produce the product than it is to making it back. A company can temporarily shut down and re-enter the market when the market price rises again. However, if that does not happen, then the company should exit the industry permanently. This is the profit maximization on a graph. As we can see here, where the marginal cost meets the marginal revenue, this is the quantity at which the company will maximize its profits. Profit maximization on a chart. Let's say that our market price is 31. Then the point at which the company will maximize its profits is a quantity of 7. And this is because here we can see the marginal cost is 30 and it is the closest to 31 and does not exceed it. And we can also see that the average variable cost is below the marginal cost. Therefore, the company is doing well and it doesn't need to shut down. In recent years, the growth of the organic farming industry has been increasing, and this is likely a result of a greater shift towards eating crops that do not contain chemicals or genetic engineering. Many consumers have also begun to shift to organic animal products because of the better animal treatment. See this greater shift towards organic products via this graph. Here, this graph shows the amount of money that the organic farming industry made in billions in 2001 to 2021, and we can see here that over the years it has increased, showing that people have been choosing organic products over commercial ones, and I think this will continue to grow. Some recommendations I have for organic farming companies is to focus on soil health. One method farmers can use is intercropping, which is a type of farming technique where you plant two different types of crops interchangeably, and this farming method is really beneficial for the soil as the different crops allow nutrients to be added back into the soil. And they should avoid monocropping or double cropping because it drains the soil of its nutrients, especially double cropping, as that is the technique where farmers will have two harvests in one season and the soil is completely stripped of its nutrients and can no longer be used again. I would also consider investing in technology that could speed up the harvesting process, and this could be machinery and other forms of equipment, as well as focusing research into finding pest-resistant crops that are naturally occurring so that you can increase your yield. Our last section is going to be issues with the industry, and part of this is the USDA regulations and also competition. To be able to label a product as organic, companies must have their farms certified by the USDA and agree to uphold the requirements needed to produce organic products. Some of these difficulties are time and fees, as some farmers are unable to keep up with the demanded fees from the government agency, broad regulations on certain products that are often taken advantage of by loopholes, and oftentimes these regulations and approvals contrast with sustainability, as some farms that monocrop are certified to be organic despite it being environmentally unsustainable. The second issue that I will be discussing about the organic farming industry is its competition with the commercial farming industry. The organic farming industry also struggles to keep up with the commercial agricultural industry, and this is due to customers choosing to buy commercial products over organic, typically due to the cheaper cost. Commercial farming industries can get away with this because they use genetic engineering, which increases their crop yield, thus lowering the price of most crops. And especially in the meat industry, ranching can be costly. As you can see, the picture on the left is an example of ranching, and this is the organic farming method technique. And here we can see the cows are given ample amount of space to roam and are fed grass-fed diet. And this land is very costly to a company because of its expensiveness. However, the commercial industry uses what we call is feedlots, where animals are packed into this tight space in this limited amount of land. So commercial companies spend less on land as they pack more animals in, thus producing more but having to save less because they don't buy out as much land as a ranching company does. Thank you for listening. This has been my presentation on the organic farming industry. These are my sources, and once again, thank you for listening.